Hi, I'm Callista.
And I'm Allison, and welcome back to I Don't Want to Talk About Politics, a podcast where we only talk about politics sometimes. Callista, welcome back.
It's so good to be back.
I could lie and say, oh my gosh, we haven't recorded an episode in 2 years. And that was true as of exactly 1 week ago.
Very
But
true.
as in the idwtap fashion, we had technical issues.
What? We didn't like my robotic voice.
No. And I really tried my best. And I would like to say my editing issues have improved. I've done better, but even my improved editing has could not fare against Callista's robot. But welcome back, Callista.
Welcome back, Allison.
Aside from 1 week ago, I have missed recording with you.
I also have. It's been so long, and we both very much missed it.
We both very much missed it. We both changed a lot. You haven't gotten any less clumsy, and I haven't gotten any less spastic. But other than that, I feel like they've both changed a lot. We are actually recording this at a moderately normal time.
That is a very valid point. It's only 9, not 2 a.m. So if this episode is boring, blame it on the time we're recording.
I have to be up at 6:30 tomorrow to drive across the state. I haven't packed. And you know what? We talked 2 hours ago, and I was like, I'm going to go pack while I'm waiting to record. And instead, I sat on my couch and I played Blues Tower Defense on my iPad.
No. Don't come complaining to me when you feel like you didn't have enough time to pack.
I'm only going for 1 day though, so it's basically just me throwing stuff in a bag, but then I'm gonna forget something like socks and underwear, which happened to me
Don't forget the socks and underwear.
when I came and saw you 2 weeks ago.
It did.
I went to Idaho first, and I got to Boise, and I realized I didn't get any socks or underwear, so then I had to go buy socks and underwear.
And you're always the one that's like, I packed so many underwear, like it's 3 days, but I have 27 pairs.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I did pack that. I just never made it into my bag. Like, I just had a pile of underwear and socks on my bed when I got home. And I was like, there you are. As instead of talking about my socks and underwear, we can talk about why we're back. This will be a little bit of a shorter episode. I feel like normally our episodes are like an hour and a half, but we just want to do a little intro episode to get us to talk about why we're back, where we went, the future of the podcast. We'll do a little bit of life updates because, like I said, a lot has changed in 2 years. And we'll top off the episode with my favorite segment, which is explaining pop culture things to Callista, except for this is going to be more complaining about a life thing. And you know what? I actually think a culture commentary on some issues I've been taking with the world.
Sounds like
And
a plan.
yeah, I think we'll conclude with our normal conclusions. So let's get into this. Callista, 2 years ago, we're on top of the world. We were living state by state, adjoining states to each other. I think the last episode that we'd recorded was like the purity culture episode.
I honestly don't know.
I think it was purity culture. We did a fantastic. That's one of the last ones I remember recording was purity culture. Mind you, I have essentially almost no memory of recording any of the podcast.
Yeah. The only episode where I actually there's 2. The chemical abortion one I very much remember, and then our Earth Day episode. Only the one was we started recording at like 4 a.m. and we had slept.
Yeah, watched the sun come up while we were recording.
We sure did. We were in one of the study rooms in the technology building, and it's, like, outside of the building, so we were, like, in this glass
Mhm.
box, and we watched the sunrise.
I looked back at our episodes. Actually, the last episode we recorded is the corrupt history of Black Lives Matter. You could offer to pay off all of my college debt, and I could not tell you a single thing we said in that episode.
Yeah, I have no
And that
clue.
was February 28th of 2024.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
remember anything from that episode.
Lista, why did we stop recording? I mean, we let's see. We'd finished up the summer. We were excited to announce that we were living together for the first time. We were about to do your last semester on campus living together. It would have made us so much easier for us just to record in person together again.
No, because the last episode we recorded was 2024. I graduated December of 2023. So that was just we did one episode after.
We did? Weird.
Didn't you just say yeah, because you
Yeah,
said
it says February
2024.
20th of 2024.
So we tried this whole one episode from 2 different places, and it just I
Yeah,
don't
because we
know.
didn't record basically, we did not record an episode, like, almost the entire time we lived together, and then finally you moved out again, and we were like, "Let's start recording again." Clearly, we just don't enjoy recording in person, which is so weird because the first, what, 10 episodes of the podcast are recorded together in person.
They were, yeah, they were either
Mhm,
recorded on my apartment floor or, in one of the study rooms on campus.
mhm.
I think the
Never
last semester we didn't my last semester we didn't record because I was very stressed and getting everything all in order to graduate.
I think that all the conversations that we were having on the podcast, we normally would have on my podcast, we were actually having, like, just with each other, usually sitting on our, hallway floor at, like, 4 in the morning just without microphones.
Because why would you sit on a couch or on a bed or all these other places we had to sit when we could sit in the middle of the hallway?
Exactly, exactly. And I think living together, not it sounds like we hated living together, that's not true. I actually really enjoyed living with you, and I
It
and
was
this
really
was
fun.
really fun. It was really fun. But I just think living together, we were just like, "Oh, let's just enjoy our time together instead of, um, recording and stuff." But I missed it.
I should have really just mic'd you up all the time secretly. It would have been really
If you'd mic'd me up all the time secretly, I wouldn't have a job right now.
that is true.
I mean, yeah, you totally should have, and I never would have said anything that would have even remotely got me canceled.
Correct.
But yeah, why are we back? Because of the job I have right now, because we didn't mic Allison up while we were living together. It has taken me to be able to visit Callista, a couple times in her area, and because of that, we had essentially the same conversation we had when we started the podcast, except instead of over uh, egg salad on the shores of Peoria Lake.
Yes.
It was over some fried mozzarella at the only Chili's in the Pacific Northwest. And we were like, man, I miss doing the podcast. And I think for me, it had been on like the edge of my tongue for like 2 or 3 months now, then.
And I definitely thought about it a couple times, and then it was kind of like a no, like she probably doesn't want to, or like we're busy.
Mhm.
But then, yeah, something with those mozzarella sticks.
Honestly, we went home and we went back to your place and then we spent the next 2 hours trying to figure out where the website went.
That is true. The good news, the website's back. I figured it out.
Mhm. And so now we know for this time, Alice needs to write down where she, um, put all the passwords for everything because that took me a while to find as well.
Yeah, it
And
definitely the it wasn't as smooth a process as, "Oh, let's just put a mic in front of us again and talk." It was, "Wait, we need to find all the things."
mhm. But, like, the more that we found, the more that we got excited for it. Like, I loved getting to look back through all of our notes and stuff and kind of like especially looking at the notes that I would write down for the intros to the episodes were really funny. Especially because last time when we were recording over the summer, that was when my last summer working at David's Bridal, and so many of
Mhm.
it was just complaining about my job, and it was so funny seeing all of this effort, especially considering now and all the stuff that I was saying about David's Bridal too.
Yeah.
I low key miss working there, and I low key also don't miss working there. Anyways, why we're back, I also think that we wanted to be able to talk about issues that first of all, I think what really inspired it is our love, still my favorite episode we ever recorded, which was our family vlogging episode, where we
Yes.
talked at length about family vlogging and essentially predicted the arrest of Ruby Frankie for 8 Passengers because we recorded that episode and then what like 2, 3 weeks later, Ruby Frankie was arrested.
Yeah, it was so soon after, and we're just like, "Uh, um, okay."
Which since then we have sent so many things about that trial, and if you do not follow Chad Frankie on TikTok, you are missing out because he's hands down the funniest person on the planet, and he, like, uses the specific audio on TikTok from Key and Peele, the "Shut up, mom!" all the time, and it's so, so funny. Like, if you
Mhm.
click on the sound, you just scroll through, it's all him, and it's hilarious every single time.
Yeah, he does not give a any care of what he says. He's just like, "Yep, I said it."
So interesting the difference between him and Sherry, which are the if you don't know the 8 Passengers, they're the 2 oldest. Like, Sherry, like, really using her platform for good, has been really advocating, against, like, family vlogging laws and Coogan accounts and all that amazing stuff that we'll be covering next episode. And then
Mhm.
Chad Frankie is using his platform, I would also say for good, but more of, like, chaotic good.
Yeah, and also just, like, really shedding light on what his mom did through, like, humor. Like,
Mhm.
he's got a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah, I think that, like, him and Macaulay Culkin need a podcast together.
Mhm.
I think they would be hilarious together. We can throw him like Justin Bieber in there as a guest. Just exploited child stars
Yeah.
is basically a podcast I need. I know there's a podcast with exploited child stars, but Christy Carlson Romano is like the antichrist to me, and I refuse to engage in anything that she has. She puts out on the internet, and I stand by that. But yeah, we were sending those back and forth and stuff, and I was like, "Man, I really just wanna, like, talk about this, and, I need everyone to know exactly, how I feel about family vlogging, and I miss doing the podcast." And I feel like that's kind of what inspired us to come back as well, especially both of us not being in college anymore. It's a little bit I don't know. It feels like sometimes, especially with me being a political science major, it was sometimes it felt a little bit much like at like work, like just doing a second round of homework. Whereas like now it's a little bit more fun, and I actually get a lot of enjoyment. And even today, we were planning for the next episode, and I was just fell back into the old habit of doing research and reading through articles and throwing a tantrum because the stupid New York Times refuses to let you read an article of any kind without paying a subscription fee.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, like, we were having these conversations, but then we felt like we weren't having them in the same way, and we missed the back and forth. Because
Exactly.
through text messages and sending TikToks, it's not the same. I think we covered all of the why we're back and why we left.
Mhm,
Life happens, and sometimes you have to adjust and pivot, and that's what we did.
mhm. As for the future of IDWtap, I think both of us want to focus a little bit more on some social issues in which we did sometimes. Like I said, our family vlogging episode was one of them. Also, in my notes, I wrote that both of us are extremely passionate about family vlogging and the dangers of children being exploited on the internet. So expect quite a few episodes. I literally already have like, we need to review this documentary and this book and all this. Um, but as always, you could always recommend some more topic ideas as well. And obviously, we'll be covering some political stuff too.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think, that's the future idea of tap. Do not expect regular uploads. Both of us work full-time jobs now.
Yes, we do.
Um, and I have to travel for my job, which means that there's a lot of time that I can't sit on a computer and edit for, um, a couple hours, whereas I can record on the road sometimes. So do not
Mhm.
expect regular uploads out of us. I would say I will try my best, and you can believe that, and I can believe that, and sometimes that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, life happens. I'm telling you.
So yeah, we'll probably continue to keep it chill. Expect the same rants. Expect once again for us to somehow always talk about food. Move on to what's going on in our lives.
Okay. Well, since we last recorded, like we said, a lot has changed in our lives. Um, I have a boyfriend now.
Mhm.
Uh, he's great. I like him. Oh. He he tolerates me. Just kidding, he loves me.
If anything, you tolerate him.
That's true.
It's fine. I like her boyfriend. He's very sweet. I think that he and I are bound to fist fight at some point. Like it's inevitable.
That's yeah, I could see it. Um, what else? I graduated. We talked about that. I am still working at the quilting bee, which was where I've been working since 2020, but I am now the assistant manager.
She's
So, what?
I said you're big boss now.
Sort of.
Mhm. Calista, what did you graduate with?
Oh yeah, a bachelor's in communications.
What has happened with Allison? I think the biggest thing is I'm engaged. Y'all spent like a year and a half listening to me I don't think I ever complained about him on here. I think I probably did once or twice, but
Yes.
um talk about um my boyfriend, but now my fiance, who I still call my boyfriend, and it often spurs to what happened. And I also forget to wear my ring all the time. So at this, I actually essentially am not engaged. I just own a wedding dress now.
She does.
Yes.
I may or may not have been there when she picked it.
Yes, Calista was there when we picked it. We went to simply look for styles and bridesmaids dresses, and I somehow ended up with a wedding dress. So thank you
It
to
was the
Callista
second
for
one she
that.
put on.
Well, we knew it was the one.
Yeah.
And I would rather that than have tried on a million dresses and felt like I was super overwhelmed after especially working as a bridal stylist for so long. Yeah. Yes, I'm engaged. I'm getting married in December. Calista is one of my amazing bridesmaids. I am very excited. I'm a little stressed, and I do have an actual rant at the end of this, and maybe some advice I need for my wedding because I've been crashing out over this over the past like 5 days because my cousin is also getting married. Two of my cousins are getting married this year actually, and she just had her bridal shower, and it caused me to have like an anxiety breakdown. Um, I now actually work full time for Students for Life of America. If you don't remember, Callista and I met through the Students for Life Club at GCU. And from there, I was looking for, right before I went into my last semester at GCU, I was looking for a job, and I kind of had an idea. I wanted to work for Students for Life and the regional coordinator position, but I was looking um, for the one in Arizona, and then I would just stay permanently in Arizona. But when I went to interview for that one, my current boss let me know that the Pacific Northwest one had opened up like only a couple days beforehand. We don't talk religion much on this podcast, but I feel like it was God's kind of intervention, being like, what, like, I guess if you believe in fate or whatever, I did feel like it was fate for it to be like, opening up just a few days beforehand. So I ended up interviewing for that one, and now I work full time for Students for Life, and I absolutely love it. I get to travel all over the Pacific Northwest, and the true Pacific. I stand by the true Pacific Northwest is Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, but I actually cover Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, and Alaska.
Yeah. I truly think you definitely are better fit for this position than the Arizona one. I think you would have melted and died.
Oh, yeah. No, my whole plan with the Arizona one was I'm gonna go into this position, and then as soon as the Pacific Northwest one opens, I'm gonna ask to transfer. It is
Mhm.
notoriously a very difficult position to fill, because it is a very big region, for one, and a very difficult region. But the way that people feel about, like, you know how like New Yorkers are like, I'm never gonna leave New York. I love New York. It's amazing. It's the best city on the planet. That's how I feel about the
Mhm.
Pacific Northwest.
That's how I feel too. Like, even after living in Arizona or traveling to different places, I'm like, I can't live anywhere else.
Yeah. I I was like, and you know, I feel like I've talked so much about like, oh, I just want to go live like on the other side of the country for a little bit, but like even now I don't really want to do that anymore. Like I just love it here. I don't want to leave.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks here is it's really expensive to live
Mhm.
here, but I need the 4 seasons.
It's expensive to die here.
It's expensive to
It's so
die here.
expensive to die here. No one talks about that. My grandfather died like 2 years ago. He like 2 years ago, 3 days from now, actually. Um,
Thought you were, like, looking for him in your room or something. I was really confused there for a second.
no, he had the nerve to die like 3 days before my 21st birthday. He died, my grandfather died like 2 years ago, and, the amount of, like, taxes that we had that my poor grandma had to pay on his, like, estate or whatever it is, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've always considered, like, I still kind of am considering law school. I haven't decided. I'm not in a hurry to decide whether or not I actually want to go because I'm 22, almost 23. I'm not in a rush to go to law school, and it doesn't stop being an option when I turn 30. But I think estate law is always one of the ones I considered because there's just like a crazy amount of injustice in that. Don't die in New York. New York has like one of the worst estate has some of the worst estate taxes that you've ever seen in your entire life. Don't die in New York and don't die in Oregon.
Okay. I will make note of that. Probably don't die in Washington either because they'll probably tax your last breath.
Anything else? I moved out. That was good. I used to record 2 houses ago because that's when my dad and I were living in an apartment. I used to
Uh-huh.
record in at the kitchen table in my dad and I's two-bedroom apartment while he was sleeping in the other room because we would record at like 3 a.m. and then I would be able to overlook the beautiful Willamette River in the park next to it. And sometimes I'd watch homeless people fight in the park, and we'd have to pause halfway through filming because the train would go through in the background. It'd be so incredibly loud.
I technically also moved. My family did because we were the last time we recorded, we were in our temporary housing, which was like a one-bedroom apartment. Very small, very cramped. We had a trailer too, but and now we live in a house that my parents built.
Our old recording situations were so chaotic. I don't know how we were able to get anything done because, like,
I
either
really
I'd
don't.
record, at the kitchen table, or I would record sitting on the floor of my fiance's first apartment. It was a studio apartment in Woodburn, which Woodburn is in like the ghetto part of Woodburn. And it'd be like he had no air conditioning. And we'd record in like the dead of summer. That was one of the hottest summers in Oregon's history. It'd be like 100 degrees outside. So it'd be like 110 in that room. And I would sit on the floor with his crappy, crappy mic. It was a horrible mic that would cut out all the time while we were recording.
Yeah, I would the place we were staying only had a wall AC unit in the living room, but my sisters would be up or my mom would be up or something, so I always had to shut the door, and it would be so hot in the room because when you shut the door, the air conditioning can't get through, and it was rough. You know, I would rather walk to Arizona or walk to class in Arizona again than record in that room again.
At least Arizona had good air conditioning by law, but they had good air conditioning. We've complained about the Arizona heat, which is, I feel like, something we complained about a lot on the podcast. I feel like
Yeah,
that's like, I feel like once you live in Arizona, like, that's all you know how to do in Arizona. Like, every single conversation is, "Oh my gosh, it's so hot today. Oh my gosh, it's so hot today. Guys, let's
exactly.
just talk about how hot it is."
It's like people in Seattle going, "Oh, yeah, it's raining again."
All right. Was that all the major life updates? Callista, is there anything else that you can think of?
No, I think we covered them all.
No tattoos, no belly button piercings?
No.
Mm. The one thing is, Callista, your sisters are all so little in the old recordings, and it's
They
so
are.
cute. Like, I think about, your younger sister was still very much like a little kid when we used not that she's not a little kid anymore, but she was very much a little kid when we used to record in. She never obviously, I never included it on the podcast because 'cause I'd be psycho, but, she very much was a would some interludes from the podcast she would create.
Yeah.
Mhm. And those were always funny. I at least found them funny. I'm sure you did not find them funny.
I was like, "Why are you in here again?
Why are you awake at 2 a.m.?
You're supposed to be sleeping."
I don't remember one of them, which one it was, but I remember one time in an episode, one of your sisters was just eating, like, a raw tomato, like, a whole raw tomato in the background of an episode.
It's likely my 15-year-old sister. It's
Mhm.
very yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna finish up with my Alice explains pop culture to Callista, which once again, when I was going through the notes, I remember nothing of what I talked about in these other episodes, except for the one time that I talked about, I was gonna say Brandy Melville, but that's a clothing brand. Just to like give you an idea of like how long ago we recorded one of the first episodes. In the second episode of the podcast, I talked about the when the new Little Mermaid had just been announced, the live action Little Mermaid.
That was so long ago.
And I talked about,
There's 2 spiders
the
on my
stunt
show.
casting the casting for it, and how upset I was over the casting, and, like, I think about that now, and I was like, "That was so stupid for me to be mad about," especially when the 2020 we have the 2026 Wuthering Heights, which that is crazy casting.
Mhm.
If y'all haven't read Wuthering Heights or don't know, Jacob Elordi of Euphoria fame, I don't know what else he's popular for. Oh, and The Kissing Booth fame, was cast as, Heathcliff in it. Heathcliff in the books is notably a character of color to the point where he's essentially a slave. He's essentially an indentured servant, but essentially a slave on a farm, and then they cast him as Jacob Elordi, who is just, like, a gigantic white man.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi is the tallest person on the planet, and he also played Elvis. If you
Okay.
played Elvis, you can't be Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights.
Mm. I
I also have
swear,
a lot,
if they mess up the live action Rapunzel, I'm gonna cry.
but the casting for Tangled is so good.
It is so good, but I'm
It's
like, I
so
swear,
good. Milo Manheim as the casting for Flynn Rider, perfect casting, and I stand by that.
because Rapunzel is or Tangled is still my favorite Disney princess movie,
Mm.
and I'm like, if they mess that up in any way, at least they've got the casting great this time. So that's great.
I can't remember Rapunzel's actress's name, but she's kind of relatively unknown, which I appreciate. Tegan Croft, and then Catherine Hayne for Mother Gothel, perfect casting. I would say almost better. I would say actually better than Milo Manheim. Um, Catherine Hayne as Mother Gothel, literally the perfect casting.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on for remakes and sequels, since we're like in that phase, instead of Toy Story 5, despite the fact that Taylor Swift is going to be doing the soundtrack for it, and I'm very excited, I would like to see a second Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
Rise of the Guardians is so good. And if you were on that era of YouTube where this is gonna make you look like such a nerd. If you were on that era of YouTube where everyone used to watch the edits of Rapunzel from Tangled and Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians and Meredith from Brave and Elsa from Frozen, and people would edit them all together going to Hogwarts. I need
I
someone
cannot
else to like
say that I was a part of that, but are we surprised?
no, I'm not surprised that you have no idea what I'm talking about. Um, sorry, that was my bad. I actually need to go into my actual pop culture thing, which was wedding complaints. Guys, I've sent out my save the dates. Unfortunately, I can't send one to Callista 'cause she lives in a little house in the big woods. But I have to send out
We have
my
a
complaints.
PO box.
You have a PO box. That's true. I could send it to your PO box, or I could just bring the invitation to you and the save
That
the
is
date to
true.
you in
But
person.
I did request a carrier pigeon, but I'll second it. You can send it by Pony Express if that makes you more comfortable.
Sorry. Wedding complaints. I was at my cousin's bridal shower and she was getting all these beautiful things. Congratulations to my cousin. She's getting married in June. I love her. She and I grew up really close together. We used to do sleepovers and stuff, so it's really cool to see her get married and stuff. And she was beautiful, but she was getting all these amazing things like cups. She got so many cups and so many utensils. Like, how many spatulas do you need? And that's what I was thinking. I was like, when I registered for my wedding, I don't want 2,000 spatulas.
That's a
And
valid
I
point.
feel like that's fair.
That's very fair.
What do I register for, Callista, if I don't want kitchen items?
Um, just have
See?
everyone
See?
get you
You're
a new
confused because
wardrobe.
everyone always registers for kitchen items. Everyone always registers for the same kitchen items, and that is a KitchenAid, a bread maker is another one, and a crock pot. And I own a crock pot, and I hate bread.
Um, some throw pillows. I don't know.
I don't want throw pillows. I have a cat that I hate, and I have a dog.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Um,
Obviously, my fiance's suggestion was a lightsaber
that doesn't surprise me.
and a chocolate fountain.
I'm pretty sure my boyfriend's suggestion would be a sword.
I told him no samurai swords because I know he'd suggest that.
I don't know.
Anyways, if anyone has any suggestions. Because my dad was like, well, at our wedding, for our wedding registry, we got fine china. And I was like, I live in an apartment. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that I can barely afford. What do you think I'm gonna do with fine china?
Fine china. Um, you need a tool set. I don't know.
I haven't washed my bed sheets in a month, and you think that I'm registering for
No.
fine china? I was like, he was just like, obviously. I was like, what do you mean, obviously? And then
Like,
my grandma, who probably is going to listen to this podcast, I love you, grandma, kept being like, you just need to register at Crate and Barrel. That's great. Thanks for giving me a location. What am I registering for at Crate and Barrel? Once again, I haven't washed my bed sheets in a month. What do you think I'm getting at Crate and Barrel?
you could just ask for a bunch of um Diet Coke.
That's true. Like, there's a
Or
lot of
maybe
things that we can do that
to
nobody
ask for
asks
some
for.
Tupperware.
What?
Ask for some Tupperware because everyone's always, losing the containers and you just have a drawer full of lids.
No. It's the exact opposite. How we've lost all of our pan lids.
How did
Like,
you
I don't know. I don't know. We started out with extra pan lids than we had pans, and now we've lost all of our pots of pans lids. I burnt my rice today because I couldn't find a lid.
I'm confused.
I am too. There's 2 people who live here, and I didn't lose the pan lids.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if you lost the pan lids.
Mhm.
It's- I truly just want a church wedding and some stone fire pizza or whatever the heck. Oven fire
Yeah, but
pizza,
someone's
whatever.
fighting me back on that stone fire pizza for some reason. What is it with men and not wanting pizza at weddings?
I
Because I
don't
also tried to
understand.
argue for pizza at my wedding, and my freaking fiance is like, "Well, I don't like pizza." Nobody doesn't like pizza. Like, you're spiting me for no reason.
Asking him to go get some like Papa Murphy's pizza or like some Pizza Hut. I don't know why I was thinking Pizza Hut and my brain said Papa Murphy's. Anyways, like I'm not asking for that. Like I don't want just, a basic pepperoni pizza. Like I'll have that as an option, but I would like a fancy pizza.
Mhm. You know what I want? Do you guys have Garlic Jim's there?
No.
Is Garlic Jim's a local chain? Garlic Jim's might be a local chain. Garlic Jim's has this really good Hawaiian pizza, and I know everyone's like, "Pineapple on pizza, pineapple on pizza." No, this pizza's very good. It has pineapple, and it has sliced up almonds on it,
Mm.
and it's delicious. So if you have that at your wedding, I would very much appreciate it.
Unfortunately, my boyfriend's allergic to nuts. And it's really hard going from a family that, has no nut allergies to dating someone who literally is allergic to every nut, including peanuts that normally it's like you're allergic to tree nuts or you're allergic to peanuts. He's allergic to everything.
This is a weird tangent that we've gotten off onto. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Don't Want to Talk About Politics. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at idwtap_podcast. You can also check out our website, which is idwtappodcast.com. That's idwtappodcast.com. You can also follow us on our personal Instagrams. For me, it's at Allie.joy173. And you can also check out the Students for Life regional Instagram at Pacific Northwest _SFLA if you want to see what I'm doing at work. I don't post on there very often, but sometimes you can see me out and about on campus. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. And my Instagram is _faithful and opinionated _.
Calista, what will we be talking about next episode?
Next week, we'll be talking about one of our favorite topics, in case you haven't figured that out yet, and least favorite issues, family vlogging, specifically regarding the new Tennessee law and the exodus of family vloggers. Where are they off to next?
If you all want to prepare yourselves for the next episode, I encourage you to go to Savannah LeBrant's Instagram, scroll back to February 15th of 2023, and read the comment section of her post announcing them leaving California, going to Nashville shortly after the new California law had gone into place that would require them to be paying the kids, their children, what they make off of their kids on their content. And read the comment section on there. I was reading that today because I was listening to me. I was laughing maniacally. It is the funniest thing on the planet of these people getting absolutely roasted and read to filth for the true evilness that they are. All right, Callista, are you excited to be back?
Very excited.
Are you even more excited for next episode?
I am so excited. In case.
All right, we will see you next episode. Thank you so much for listening.